This is 98.4 on your dial, the last steady signal in a world that has grown very, very quiet. If you are hearing my voice, then you have managed to survive another day, and for that I offer you my most sincere if wary congratulations. This is Dr. Freeman. I am sitting in the dark of the studio, illuminated only by the dull amber glow of the transmitter's vacuum tubes and the tiny frantic red light of a battery indicator that is telling me things I'd rather not believe. This is the penultimate broadcast. I have enough power for tonight and perhaps a few minutes tomorrow to say goodbye, but the end of our frequency is nearing. The diesel for the backup generator ran dry 3 days ago, and I have been relying on a bank of deep cycle batteries that were never meant to carry the weight of a city's hope. I look out the window of this reinforced booth and I see a landscape that no longer belongs to us. The city used to be a tapestry of neon and headlights, a living thing that breathed and hummed with the ambition of millions. Now it is a graveyard of steel and glass. The only lights I see are the occasional flickering fires started by people who didn't know how to stay hidden, or the cold, silver reflection of the moon on the river. It is a beautiful night in a terrifying sort of way. The stars are brighter than I ever remember them being in my youth. It turns out that when you turn off all the civilization, the universe finally shows itself, but that beauty is a lie. The silence is a lie. The reports I've been receiving over the shortwave bands have stopped entirely. For the last 48 hours, there has been nothing but the hiss of atmospheric ghosting. The last verified transmission came from the NORAD facility in Colorado, or at least what was left of it. They spoke of the Red Dawn protocol being a total failure. The ultraviolet barriers we spent billions on, they worked for a week. Then the power grids buckled under the weight of a panicked population, and the barriers became nothing more than expensive glass fences. They told me that the interior of the country is gone. The Great Plains are hunting grounds. The mountains are tombs. If you are listening from a basement in the Midwest or a bunker in the desert, please understand that help is not coming from the West. I remember the first month. We were so clinical about it. I stood at this very microphone and talked about the hematophagous viral strain, as if it were something we could cure with a shot and a week of bed rest. I called them patients. I urged you to show compassion to your neighbors who seemed pale and lethargic. God, I was a fool. I spoke about the ethics of containment while the world was being dismantled brick by brick. They aren't patients. They are a biological pivot point. They are what comes after us. They don't have a culture, they don't have music, and they don't have mercy. They just have a metabolic need that we happen to satisfy. I lost my assistant Sarah 6 days ago. She didn't get bitten in a struggle. She didn't go out in a blaze of glory. She simply got tired of the silence. She walked out the front door of the station at noon, thinking the sun would protect her. But the sun is a fickle friend. There are shadows in the alleys that never truly dissipate. Pockets of cool, dark air where they wait, huddled like leeches for the foolish and the desperate. I watched from the monitor as they dragged her into the subway entrance. She didn't even scream. She just looked back at the camera with an expression of profound relief. That's the most dangerous part of this, I think. The exhaustion. The way the world wears you down until the idea of ending feels like a luxury. But you must not give in. You must not walk into the noonday shadows. I have information tonight that I have spent the last of our satellite uplink credits to verify. It is the reason I am still sitting here breathing this stale, recycled air. There is a rumor that has been circulating since the fall of DC about an offshore sanctuary. Most of us dismissed it as a fairy tale, a ghost story told by survivors to keep their children quiet. They called it the Aegis platform. They said it was an old deep-sea oil rig converted into a self-sustaining fortress. I can tell you now, with the authority of the last functioning government data packet I received, that Aegis is real. It is not a myth. It is a repurposed modular platform located 70 miles off the coast, anchored in the deep currents of the Atlantic. It has its own desalination plant, its own hydroponics, And most importantly, it is surrounded by miles of salt water. They cannot swim. Their bone density changes after the transition. They sink like stones, and the high salt content of the ocean acts as a corrosive to their mutated skin. The platform is a needle of safety in a haystack of madness. I'm going to give you the coordinates now. If you have a boat, if you can find a vessel with enough fuel or a sail and a compass, you need to head there. Do not wait for a sign. Do not wait for the weather to clear. The window is closing. Listen carefully and find a way to record this. Write it on your arm if you have to. The coordinates for the Aegis Sanctuary are north 33 degrees, 42 minutes and 12 seconds. West 76 degrees, 15 minutes and 58 seconds. I will repeat that. North 33, 42, 12. West 76, 15, 58. It is a speck in the vastness of the sea, but they have a lighthouse, a high-intensity ultraviolet beacon that sweeps the horizon every 30 seconds. If you get within 10 miles, you will see it. It will look like a blue star pulsing on the edge of the world. To get there from the city, you have to navigate the harbor. The docks are dangerous. They congregate there because they know we want to leave. They know the water is our only exit. You must be silent. Use the tides, don't start your engine until you're past the breakwater. If you have a small craft, stay in the center of the channel. Do not look at the shore. No matter what voices you hear calling from the piers, no matter how much they sound like someone you used to love, do not turn back. They are mimics. They are the best hunters this planet has ever seen because they know exactly which strings to pull in the human heart. I wish I could go with you. I truly do. But my place is here at the dial. If I leave, this frequency goes dead and there might be someone out there just reaching for the knob, just finding the signal. Who needs those numbers to live? I will stay until the red light on my panel goes dark. I have a small revolver in the desk drawer. It has 2 bullets left. One for the lock on the studio door if they finally break through the barricade, and one for the doctor. It's a clean exit. A professional courtesy to myself. It's funny, the things you miss. I find myself craving the sound of a lawnmower on a Saturday morning. I miss the smell of rain on hot asphalt. I miss the mundane frustration of a traffic jam. We didn't know how lucky we were to be bored. Boredom is a privilege of the safe. Now every second is a serrated edge, cutting into your nerves. Every creak of the floorboards, every gust of wind against the glass, it all feels like a death sentence. I'm looking at the voltage meter again. It's dropping. The hum of the transmitter is changing pitch, becoming a low, mournful groan. I'll be back tomorrow for one last time. I'll spend the day gathering any last scraps of data, any final words of encouragement I can find in the archives of a dead civilization. Until then, keep your lights bright and your eyes on the horizon. If you make it to adjust, tell them Dr. Freeman sent you. Tell them the signal was clear until the very end. Don't let the silence get to you. It's just a lack of noise, that's all. You are still here. Your heart is still beating. That means you are still the master of your own soul. Do not give them the satisfaction of your despair. Move toward the water. Move toward the blue star. This is Dr. Freeman signing off from 98.4. One last frequency. I will see you in the twilight for the final broadcast. Good night, and may you find the shore before the sun goes down. Stay in the light. Just stay in the light.